Okay, so this is Greek chicken kebabs. So today we're working with chicken, or if you're vegetarian we're going to be using halloumi. We're going to be making a marinade to go on top of some chicken. What we're using is we're going to be using an acid-based marinade. Marinades are really important because they add lots of flavour to your meat or your halloumi, but the acid also breaks down the proteins, so you're going to have really tender chicken when it's cooked. So you need a little bowl to start with. You're going to cut the lemon in half, again using the bridge method, and you're going around the world. You're cutting around the world rather than the length of the lemon, because they're very hard to juice lemons when you do them into their wedges. So you then have 2 parts of your lemon. You're going to just use half of your lemon. So the middle point goes onto the middle point of your juicer. You've got a top and a bottom to your juicer. The bottom bit catches all the juice, and the top stops any pips or any seeds going into your juice. So you need to put it on, and you need to give it a really, really good wiggle around. So you're going to wiggle it all around all of the edges. Use quite a lot of pressure. Make sure you get all of that juice out. Okay. If you want to, you can roll the lemon on its side to start with to get all of those juices ready to be released. So you're going to put that then into your metal bowl. And with that, you're going to put 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs to add a nice flavour. And then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of oil into there as well. And then we're going to crush in 1 clove of garlic. So you can give that a good little mix to start with. And then we're going to add in 1 clove of garlic. So don't forget, garlic has got 2 ends to it. You've got a pointy tip, and then you've got the hard base. And you want to just take that hard base off and then peel the skin. You can crush it with the skin on, but it's a bit easier if you take all of that skin off. Crush it into your bowl along with your lemon juice, herbs and oil. Then just use that spoon to get all of the garlic out of your crusher. Open it up, put those bits in as well. It makes it easier to clean, and you want to get as much garlic into your marinade as possible for extra flavour. So that is your marinade prepared. So you're just going to leave it onto the side, because we're going to be putting that onto our vegetables and our chicken once they've been put onto the kebab sticks. Then we're going to prepare all our vegetables. So we're going to be using tomatoes. You can use them whole, so you don't need to chop those up. We're going to be using half a pepper, half a courgette. So to cut the pepper in half, go straight through that top part, down the sides, and then you just simply put your fingers in, pull that top out. Now that will take all the seeds. If there's any left over, just pick them out. For kebabs, we want to have quite chunky vegetables. We want them to be crunchy when they come out of the oven. We don't want them to be too soft. And if you're trying to put your vegetables on your kebab stick and they're too small, they'll just fall apart. So we're going to do quite big wedges, about 1 centimetre apart. So do your pepper into some slices, all even, because you want the vegetables to cook all at the same rate. So we don't want 1 really big bit of pepper and 1 small bit. So you want them all to be the same. So slice them all one way, then go through the middle the other way. Then you'll have your nice pepper chunks. With the courgette again, we're going to just use half of it. So chop that in half. You don't want to use the top or the bottom bit, so just trim them off. Then we're going to slice it in half. You can do it either way. You can lie it down flat, or if you prefer, stand it up. Depends on how wonky your courgette is. Then we're just going to slice that into big chunks again. Again, we don't want small bits because they're going to be quite hard to get onto your kebab sticks. Then we're going to prepare the chicken. So all your vegetables are now ready. Leave them on your green board. We're then going to cut up the chicken. So again, we want it to be quite chunky, but we want it to be even, because otherwise on your kebab sticks you have 1 bit of chicken that's really tough if it's really small, and 1 bit that's quite large that will be raw. So we need to make sure we're getting them even. So to start with, we're going to cut it down the middle. Remember, when we're cutting chicken, it's a different knife pattern. It's like stroking a cat. Okay, it's a bit like feathering. There we go. So you're going to go down that chicken, right down the longest part to start with. And you have 2 even pieces then. And then we're just going to put that into some chunks. Okay. Make sure again they're as even as possible. If you've got 1 bit that's slightly bigger than the others, you can chop that in half if you need to. Just make them all even. So do that to both parts of your chicken. And then we're going to put them onto our kebab sticks. So the kebab sticks have been soaking in water overnight. That means that they won't set on fire when you put them into the oven. So if you're at home, soak your kebab sticks to start with. So we're now going to assemble using the chicken and the vegetables. So like I said, with the tomatoes, use them whole, and you're going to put that stick right through that top middle part, all the way up to the end. Leave a little gap at the end so you can hold on to it when you're finished. And what I would do is I would do one vegetable to one piece of chicken. Okay, we're going through the widest part of the chicken. And with the courgette, you can either do it flat, that way, or you can go through the top, whichever way you prefer. If your courgette is a little bit smaller, do it through the white bit through the middle, because it won't break apart as easily. So go down the stick the whole way. Alternate your vegetables, because this is going to give you colour and variety of flavour as well. So go through the middle of all of your vegetables and your chicken. You can do a pattern if you want to. That's totally up to you. If you don't like certain vegetables, obviously just leave them out or substitute them for something else if you want to. Okay, you can do a nice pattern. If you're not that keen on vegetables, you could put one half you could do vegetables and one half you could do your chicken, so you could give other people in your family the vegetables. Okay, go all the way to the end, and once you've done that, we're then going to marinate this. So we're going to put it onto a greased baking tray, and we're then going to marinate it. So we're going to cover both sides in that lovely lemon marinade that you made. And like I said, that lemon juice is going to break down those proteins. So flip it over, make sure you're coating both sides with a really good coating of that marinade to add lots of flavour. You can serve this in your flatbreads, you could serve it with rice, you could serve it with a really nice salad. There's lots of options for this. Okay, there we go. So you're going to do 3 of those, and then you're going to put them in the oven at 180 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes until the chicken is cooked. To check your chicken is cooked, so these are some I cooked earlier. You can see the vegetables have all shrunk a little bit. That's because they've been cooked in the oven, water's been released from them. But you can use the food thermometer in the biggest piece of chicken to see if yours chicken is cooked. It needs to reach 75 degrees. However, so choose the biggest piece, put it right into the middle. However, because these pieces of chicken are quite small, it can be quite difficult to get an accurate reading. So the best way to check them is to cut one in half, as you can see I've done with this one earlier, and check that it's white all the way through at the middle point. Okay, like I said, it's hard to see with the thermometer, so right through the middle, biggest piece, check that's cooked, and then you're ready to go.